Hello, friends. Welcome in. I don't see anybody on just now, but that doesn't mean that nobody is here. So I just want to say hello. I'm going to get started in just a minute or two here. Okay, we're a couple of minutes in, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody, back to Rose to Row and Astrology. I am your host, Mel Rose. Jennifer is not joining me this morning, and I'm going to keep this one kind of brief. It's not going to be the regular 40 minutes to an hour that we do on a Sunday, but I just want to check in with you all and let you know that we just had this new moon in Virgo. We're at the beginning of a new creative cycle, and the vibration is very Virgoan right now. You're probably noticing the change of the seasons most of all, and that's something that we definitely notice during Virgo season is that we get into that late summer, things start to cool off a little bit. They go back and forth. We've had kind of a stormy spring and summer, and that has not really given up on us yet here in the U.S. Midwest. So, welcome to Virgo season. The sun and moon entered Virgo yesterday morning, no, yesterday afternoon, and then conjoined together at 0 degrees of Virgo. And that's just like right at the very beginning of Virgo, right? 30 degrees in a sign, and they got together right there at the very beginning of Virgo. And so it's like a double beginning. The symbolism of the new moon is a fresh start. The symbolism of a zero is a fresh start. So we really are looking at a new beginning, or even just like the preceding activities to a new beginning. So that's Virgo. Virgo is very much about our health, our routines. It's very particular. It's very detail oriented. This is the time of year when we're getting back to work and getting back to school. So it is a time. It is a time when we're sort of like focusing in on what really matters to us. Virgo is Earth, so it's about material. It's about matter, and getting things sorted out, putting them in the right places so that they are uh, available to us and usable to us as we need them. And that includes our physical health as well. So, taking good care of our physical health, especially becomes important this time of year. Not only have we just been through a long, hot summer, but we're going into the colder weather months. So we just want to make sure to be taking as good care of ourselves as possible so that we can stay healthy through the winter months. So that's Virgo season, and that started on Friday. This weekend, the sun is making, because the sun just went into Virgo, is making a bunch of aspects to those other big outer planets that are uh, just freshly in new signs. So sun is going to make an adjustment energy with Saturn on Saturday and with Neptune on Sunday. Saturn and Neptune are very nearly conjunct right now, and they are both retrograde at the beginning of Aries for the time being. So the sun is making an adjustment to that Saturn Neptune conjunction in Aries. And that's, sort of our public facing lives, in our public facing lives, having to make this adjustment in terms of rigidity and fluidity. Okay, Saturn is rigidity, Neptune is fluidity, and having them conjunct together is kind of helping us to see in different ways, like where we have been too rigid and we need to let those barriers, those defenses break down a little bit, but also where we might be too fluid and where we might be, where it might be necessary for us to shore up some boundaries or some walls or some foundations. So we're right there in the middle. It's a little bit of a sandy clay-like mix right now, and the sun is sort of at the apex of a triangle between that vibration and then Pluto at the beginning of Aquarius, which is really the new reality and the new era that we're entering into. Pluto in Aquarius is just about showing us what parts of our systems that we rely on that don't work, so that we can do the transformational work possible to make those parts of our systems work, or replace them if that's what's necessary. And then also on Sunday, the sun is going to square Uranus, and that's a little bit of a surprise a minute. We're already in that vibration of sun squaring Uranus, but it's going to come to its culmination on Sunday. And Uranus just brings about changes, shifts, surprises, like a sudden opening of perspective. Gosh, I didn't even know that before, and I never even imagined that it might be so. That's the kind of surprise that Uranus brings. But usually it's like an upgrade. It's a little bit, more technologically savvy after that. We are a little more technologically savvy after that, or we have better information to use to navigate our lives and the world. So, Uranus does apply to electronics, and it does apply to our communications in a certain way. So just be aware that surprises might be coming in, especially right now, but on Sunday, we all might get a little bit of a, whoa, what was that? Okay, well, it's a new world that we're living in now after we find out this information. So, I expect that this weekend has been a little bit challenging for a lot of us. It was challenging for me. It was a lot of fun. Jennifer and I actually went out of town, and we had a gig to do tarot for all the freshmen down at the University of Arkansas. So what we do is they have an orientation night where the kids come out to play on bouncy houses and take selfies and eat food and listen to music and get t-shirts and stuff. And they also come up and get tarot card readings from Jennifer and I. And so we'll spend 3 or 4 hours down there just talking to the incoming freshmen at the University of Arkansas. It was our 3rd year this year. We just love doing it. We love connecting with those people who are right there in their transitional moment, and offering them the reassurance and a little bit of perspective on what it is that they might be heading into. So that's what we did this weekend. We drove down to Arkansas. We did that. We stayed overnight. We came home, and then we did another gig yesterday. It's just been a very busy weekend for us, I guess I'd say. Not very stressful, but a lot of moving around, a lot of getting going. So today is the day, Sunday, for the surprises. The sun is squaring Uranus, and then tomorrow the Venus moves on into the Leo. So when Venus is in Leo, we're all a little bit more impacted in terms of what we desire and how we like to show ourselves in the world. It makes us a little more showy. It makes us a little more of a show off. In love, we can be a little bit more like, hey, this is my partner, and I want to go out looking good with this person. I want to show this person off, or I want to show off for this person, right? So that's Venus in Leo. That's what we're coming into with the Venus vibrations. And Venus is going to square Saturn tomorrow on Monday as well. Not square, trine to Saturn tomorrow on Monday as well. That means Venus is going to be trining Neptune the next couple of days too. Again, around that question of where we might have been too rigid or where we might have been too fluid, and we're trying to make those adjustments so that we're neither too rigid nor too fluid about things. Venus is like making it easy to discover this next couple of days. It's making it easy to discover what it is, what kind of different ways we might go about, protecting ourselves, what kind of different ways we might go about, getting what we want from situations without, feeling like our wishes have been ignored or trampled, right? So I think that's really positive with Venus going into Leo and then trining Saturn and Neptune at the same time. It's like we are going to come into a little bit more of just self-leadership in terms of what we desire for ourselves and what we are going to say will go for us and what we will not go for. So, that being in terms of like what feels too hard, what feels too rigid, what feels like way too much of a weight of responsibility. And then also what feels a little too loosey-goosey in the area of, are we taking care of the things that we need to take care of? Or are we setting the boundaries or laying the foundations that we need to take? So be aware of that and be open to the changes and shifts as they're coming through. Also, on Tuesday, Venus is going to oppose Pluto. And this is something we've been coming into for a little bit. But Venus opposing Pluto, that can bring about some discovery of things in our own hearts and in our relationships with other people, with the partnerships in our lives. It can bring about some discovery of things that we weren't aware of before. Okay, so there's a little bit of internal heartfelt searching in ourselves, and a little bit of just observation of our relationships and the ways that they have changed and grown, and the ways that they might be changing and growing from now on. Yes, and so the rest of this week we have Uranus coming into perfection of a sextile to Neptune on Thursday, and this is a bigger ongoing conversation between outer planets. So this is a more collective vibration. It's about surprise and the way things are changing, and also sort of some sort of spiritual ideal about the way we would like to see things be, some sort of idealization of what those changes might bring about. Definitely there is a lot of idealism in the world today, and it seems like almost everybody has their own brand of idealism. So just understand that what's ideal for you is not necessarily ideal for someone else, but we are all thinking about what is ideal for us, and how we might make these rapid changes that we're going through on a world level work a little bit more ideally for us. And then later in the week, this whole week is a waxing crescent moon. So we are thinking, planning, creating, dreaming, just exercising our imagination regarding what it is that we might want to achieve in the coming weeks, especially, so that when we get to that half moon coming up next Saturday on the 30th, we'll be ready to kick ourselves into gear and get started on something. And then next Sunday, Mercury trines Chiron. So that's going to be a very positive, uplifting, perhaps easy conversation about some sort of problem that we've needed to solve, or some old wounding that we need to heal. And with Chiron in Aries, I always want to remind us that some of those woundings are so old because they come from childhood, and they have to do with who we were as children, and what our relationship is with children. I want to say that there are sometimes things that we have already healed from childhood, even though they left a wound and it helped us put up a defense. Eventually we get to a point where we're healed from it, but we still have a defense up. And it's important to remember to dismantle defenses when you're not expecting an attack on a certain front, right? So perhaps some communication will come about that, or perhaps there'll just be some visionary discovery, understanding, new dawning of understanding in our minds, in our hearts, that some healing has occurred, and we don't have to worry so much about defending ourselves against wounds that we have received before. So that is the coming week. Very quickly, friends, the full moon comes up. The full moon in Pisces comes up on Sunday the 7th. So that's another week out. That's 2 weeks from today. And there is a lunar eclipse that night that will be visible, at least here for me in the US Midwest. So for a lot of us on this side of the world. And it's going to be a great time to be coming to a culmination that represents the end of an old era and the beginning of a new one. So be looking forward to that in a couple of weeks. And while I'm here, I figure I'll go ahead and just pull a card for us for the week. I'm not going to do the 2 cards thing that I usually do, but I just want to give some tarot style guidance to go with this week, where the sun and moon, the sun has just gone into Virgo, so we're freshly in Virgo season. Virgo ends at Libra with the fall equinox. So here we are at the end of the summer, moving into autumn, watching the seasons change, and sort of changing our activities to get prepared for being busy for harvest and busy throughout the winter season. So let's see here. What did we get? We got the 10 of Pentacles, friends. The 10 of Pentacles always reminds me of a homecoming. You can see this person in the center. It looks like they might have just walked up and their family is around them. There's an elder there, perhaps a sibling or a spouse and a child and a couple of dogs. And it looks like a nice house and green growing on the walls. So this is very secure foundation. It's coming home to a secure sort of family vibration, and it feels secure to the heart, but it also feels secure to the pocketbook. Like we have all the stuff and things that we might need to feel secure and to feel as though we are well supplied and taking care of ourselves or being well taken care of. So, that's not just about money and it's not just about things. It's also about having people around you who understand you and who want you to have well-being. Those dogs are about loyalty. So this is a very strong security vibe. It's also a 10, so it's the end of a cycle. And like I said, we just moved into Virgo, which is an earth sign, and pentacles are earth. So it is the end of the summer is what we're getting into here this week, the last 4 weeks of the summer. And I think that it's important for us to recognize and understand the security that we do have around us, to appreciate the good things that we have going for us. Like I have a car that runs really well and gets me around safely from place to place, and I have a cozy home where I feel nice and secure, and I surround myself with people that I feel comfortable around, and I experience a lot of loyalty toward people, and I experience a lot of loyalty from people. And just noticing that I have those things is going to help me go into Virgo season and into these last few weeks of summer with an attitude of gratitude, feeling as though I'm abundant and I have everything that I need. One of my favorite mantras is all of my needs and desires are met. And I encourage you to take that one on. If you ever feel like there's not enough or there's not going to be enough, this card says there is enough. Okay. So remember, all of my needs and desires are met. All right, friends, that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next video next Sunday. And of course, click notifications, subscribe to the channel, like the video so that you can know when we pop on, because sometimes it's a scheduled time and sometimes it's not so much a scheduled time. And there's other stuff going on for us right now. I want to let you know that we are in the process right now of opening a bookstore. So yeah, our attention is a little bit divided and our programming is probably going to change a little bit in the coming weeks and months, but we are not going to abandon this station. We love the people that we are in contact with here, and we want to keep on keeping up with you. So I will see you next Sunday right here at 10 a.m. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.